Hello, people. Welcome back to Edbet Leadership. It's great to be back to my base. Haven't been away for a while. Today is International Workers' Day, and I want to say a big congratulations to workers across the world, to those who are building, serving, creating, contributing, and to those showing up every day, often unseen, often uncelebrated. And it's just wonderful to be able to set aside today to recognize their labor, to honor effort, and to acknowledge contribution. And that matters. But I just want to stretch your thought a little bit. And I want to begin with this statement, on a day like this. The work is not the job. And I'll say it again. The work is not the job. You heard me right. Because while today celebrates what you do, leadership demands something deeper than what you are paid to do. Most people have reduced work to their job description, their deliverables, their targets, their KPIs. And if we're honest, that's where many stop. But if you reduce work to your job, you will miss the work of leadership. Because the truth is, the moment your role ends, the work of leadership actually does begin. And today I want to challenge you, not just to celebrate your job, but to examine whether you are doing the work. All right? So let's start with what we all understand the job to be. A job is structured, a job is defined, a job comes with clarity. You know what is expected, you know what success looks like, you know what you will be evaluated on. And more importantly, a job gives you cover. Because as long as you stay within your job description, you can always say, that's not my responsibility. And in many cases, you will be right. But here's the challenge, all right? You can hide inside your job. You can perform tasks. You can meet expectations. You can even be seen as competent and still avoid leadership. Because leadership does not begin with clarity. Leadership begins with ambiguity. Leadership begins where the script runs out. All right? So let's look at where the job ends. The job ends when there is a problem but no clear solution. There is tension but no authority has addressed it. There is a breakdown but it's not your role to fix it. There's a cultural issue but no one owns it. And that's where most people step back. That's where people say, top management should handle it. That's HRO's responsibility. That's above my pay grade. And again, technically, you are not wrong. But leadership is not about what is technically correct. Leadership is about what is collectively necessary. And this is where many organizations begin to struggle. Because everyone is doing their job, but no one is doing the work. So let's talk about the work of leadership. So what is the work? The work of leadership is not found necessarily in your job description. It is found in your response to reality. The work is raising difficult issues others are avoiding, naming what is not said, taking responsibility without being asked, engaging conflict rather than escaping it, challenging unhelpful patterns even when it's uncomfortable, regulating yourself in the face of pressure. And let me make this pretty plain. The work of leadership, like I always say, is adaptive. It is not about having answers. It is about mobilizing people to face reality and do something about it. And this is why many people avoid it. Because the job pays you, but the work will sometimes cost you, or most times cost you. It costs you comfort, it costs you approval, it costs you certainty. I'll give a simple example, all right? Imagine a team where communication is broken. Everyone sees it, everyone feels it, but no one addresses it. Now, what does the job say? Do your tasks, meet your deadlines, stay in your lane so people comply. They do their job, but the environment continues to deteriorate. Now, what does the work require? It may require someone without necessarily having authority to say, we need to talk about how we are communicating. This isn't working. Now, that is not in the job description, but that is leadership. And here's the tension. The moment you step into that space, you are taking a risk. You may be misunderstood. You may be resisted. You may even be ignored, which is why many people choose the safety of the job over the responsibility of the work. I'll give you a second example. A manager notices that the key team member is underperforming, but instead of addressing it early, they avoid the conversation. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Because they want to be liked. Because they are conflict averse. So they continue to do their job, attend meetings, send emails, manage reports. But performance declines, team morale drops, resentment builds. Now, what is the job? Manage output. But what is the work? The work is to sit down and say, we need to talk. Something is not working and we need to address it together. And that conversation is not easy, but avoiding it is not neutral. It is costly. And stepping into that discomfort, that is leadership. This matters because organizations today are not failing due to lack of talent. They are failing due to lack of leadership. People are skilled, people are educated, people are experienced. But many are waiting for permission, waiting for promotion, waiting for authority. And while they wait, problems are growing. Cultures weaken, opportunities disappear. If leadership only happens at the top, then most of the organization is inactive. And that is a dangerous place to be. So we have to make the shift. The shift is simple, but not necessarily easy. Stop asking, what is my job? And start asking, what is the work that needs to be done? And how can I contribute to it? That question will change how you show up. It will move you from compliance to ownership, from passivity to responsibility, from role-based thinking to purpose-driven action. And these are my closing reflections. Today, as the world celebrates Workers' Day, don't just celebrate your job, interrogate your work. Because you can spend years doing your job and never once step into leadership. Or you can decide today that wherever there is a gap between reality and what ought to be, you will step in. Not because it's your role, but because it is the work. And that is where leadership lives. Thank you for listening. And once again, happy Workers' Day to everyone out there. And I encourage you, don't just do the job or think about the job. Get involved in doing the work. See you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.